I got the little notebook. Oh, that's how you started right there. That was gonna be kept in too. Oh, I got you, dude. I got you.
Here, let's go. We'll just snug up a little bit.
Well, we're brothers after all. What is good, Z Nation? You already know what it is. DailyXander 257 podcast right at you. So with me today is my brother from another mother, aka the Florida brother, Jesse Walker, who just happens to also be wearing his hat backwards.
Yeah.
Happens to also have a nice groomed beard.
Yep.
Also happens to have some blonde hair, just like this guy.
Yep.
Yep.
Look at that little piece right there.
Yeah, dude, you got the same thing too, man. I got the.
Yeah.
You can't avoid it.
All part of the package.
I mean, we are.
Should we go hatless? That'd be pretty ballsy.
That would be.
We need to look. We need to maintain the image.
Somewhat professional.
Yes,
but
a little
really,
professional.
I like to say I'm professional to the point of not being an accountant professional.
Yeah, not that.
So we have some
yeah,
props.
you probably wouldn't be wearing a hat. Maybe.
Yeah.
As an accountant.
Nah.
Probably
I'm
not.
all about the suit life.
Yeah.
I sweat a lot, man. I sweat. Yeah. But it is pretty funny though. When we met, based off him seeing me a lot, skateboarding to work, and then he saw me one day. Oh, that's right. It's also tea time.
Yeah,
this
we're
is
having
tea
tea.
podcast.
Yeah.
First time ever in DailyXander history, podcast wise.
A tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, if you need a napkin, look at this.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You probably wonder where we got that from. There was no waiter or waitress in that process.
There was not,
Market.
and no tip will be
Oh,
provided
thank you.
after. Yeah.
Unfortunately not. We're going by European
We
standards.
cut it. Yeah. We caught a drip. Look at that.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to how we originally met, which is pretty funny. He originally saw me a lot of times skateboarding to work, and then one
Every day, like
Yeah.
every day at maybe like 8:30 in the morning. I don't know, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I would just see this guy. I'm just gonna take over.
Yo,
and
dude,
tell
go
the story.
for it, man.
So
Go
I
for
would
it.
see this guy, and yeah, he was like young, but you know he didn't look. I saw him with a backpack, so I was like, okay, is there a school around here? You know, and he'd be like walking this one direction, and I just like noticed it, and like day after day, and then I was like, okay. I don't know if there's a school, you know, I couldn't really see your face or anything, but I was like, okay, you know, he doesn't look like he's in high school, maybe college or something. But he would walk with his backpack, he'd either be like this or just like walking like upbeat, just like getting after it. I was like, okay, well this is obviously not like a normal person who's just like moseying along, like, you know, they're like just a little bit more upbeat. And then we were at Whole Foods, and I was there with my wife, and I saw you, and I think I recognized maybe like the hair or your, I don't know, I just like put it together.
Yeah.
And I think I saw maybe no, I don't know if anyway, well, you're wearing one of these like training shirts.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I see you every day. And then we kind of talked about like fitness
Yeah.
and just a bunch of other stuff I'm sure came up. But we
Yeah.
talked there for a while. But
We did.
I actually didn't know it, but I thought I was at Whole Foods, but I was actually at Alex's office.
Oh,
and
yeah. They're
that's-
very well informed about my office space now.
Whole Foods is? Oh yeah?
Whole Foods and Starbucks.
Are they still pretty hospitable?
Oh yeah. Oh, I was just talking about like my viewers. I
Oh,
should
the
say.
viewers,
Yeah.
the viewers, yes.
Just
Okay,
Just
yeah.
what I put out there.
Oh,
Clear,
so
like, this is my office.
we'll just call it the office.
Yeah,
I
it really
think we
is.
should just
It
refer
was
to
just
that.
another, not normal meeting in the sense like, just another person. Like he's obviously like me and him get along very well and very.
It's the hair and yeah.
it's the hair. I mean,
But well, and he's from Alaska and I'm from Florida, so it's kind of like maybe the two extremes.
yeah.
And we meet in the middle. Well, that would really be like Nebraska or something. That would be an interesting thing. Is what is exactly in between
In between
Alaska
and
and Florida? Watch it be like North Dakota or somewhere that you like don't
Yeah.
even expect,
Well,
or New York
Or New York.
somehow because of like the curvature of the earth.
Oh, that's a whole nother
Some
thing
Jew-
you go into about the curvature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then I've actually ran into you on several other occasions, just at Whole Foods.
Yeah, Whole Foods. It's amazing.
And most of the time, I'll see him before he sees me, so I try to like come up in some like, you know, like either from like behind, or I'll like pop out, or I'll act like, so you know, I'll try to like act like I'm maybe someone that I'm not. Like I'll ask like a question, like, "Hey, sir, can you help me find?" You know, I don't know.
There was one time you came in like just with a rap right off the
I was
bat.
just
You're
straight
Hey,
rapping.
what up, man? This is something.
It was about a
Whole
guy in a
Foods.
red bag.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. I forget the rap now. But yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, but that's just like such a great way to go about like entering a conversation, saying hi to somebody when you just like go about with like creativism and like
Some creative,
just like so
yeah.
much different than like, hey man, how's it going? Just a handshake. Or even if you
Yeah.
like do like a creative handshake. Where
Yeah, we did one.
I do things now like I just grab the forearm and
Just
kind of
switch it up. Yeah,
Supposedly
yeah.
that's kind of what they do in South America. Like it's just
like
it's
a
way,
really like thick
very,
embrace.
Like, they're like very close in like
Yeah.
their culture and stuff. So like it gets you like a little bit closer.
Yeah,
to,
like yeah.
And then you can just do.
You
so
could
much.
even like slide upwards if you
That's
wanted to be closer.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do that, but we could.
Yeah. Like.
Well, we kind of did this like cool like high five thing. I didn't really know. I almost felt like you were so
yesterday?
natural about it. Yeah, when I saw you last night.
I was just a triple tap.
Yeah, we just did like 3 of
It was
these.
like 1, 2, 3, and I was just.
But
like,
there was
jumped
more,
back
like our
and-
whole bodies were moving.
yeah,
It wasn't just
yeah.
like this. It wasn't a fish
Our
thing.
bodies are meant to move.
Yeah.
Rather than just be like, oh, let's be businessy and just like.
Right, do some
How
kind of.
you doing? My name's
yeah.
Alex. Nice to meet you. Or you can do like the Trump thing where you're like, hey, nice to
Just
meet
do
you.
like a weird. So I'm writing something down
go
here.
right into it.
And this
I'm all
is
about authentic and genuine, and this is a genuine topic or subject matter Mr. Jesse wants to bring up that I have no idea what's going to be, but it'll be, I'm sure, very interesting and stimulating.
Oops.
If I had to say.
Well, I just made a typo writing the letter L. It looks like a letter C. But I'm writing something down to Alex, which I think is going to be a good conversation starter. And I just want to hear, man, like what comes to your head first? We'll maybe show them what it is. And this is something that we've talked about, but I've never phrased it like this. Oh, is it backwards?
That's what I was thinking. It might be backwards.
Well, they'll figure it out.
Probably
They're smart.
backwards, but you can code it or decode it. As
Wait, let's show them this L right here. Look at that thing. That is an L.
Oh, is it?
Or is
I
it?
didn't see.
Know
that's
thyself.
know thyself. It's like
Yeah.
a C more like it.
That was like a good like accent. Anyway, that was something we've talked about, kind of like in aspects, but I don't know, like like what, like go, like what do you
Yeah,
think?
dude, on multiple occasions. I think a lot of times when we meet up, when we start talking and such, we always get to a point where somehow the conversation could fall under the umbrella of self-awareness. Cause that's what know thyself is. At least to me right now, is just like self-awareness. And from self-awareness, like it just gives you such a clear idea of like different paths you can go throughout life, I would say.
So like, let me ask you.
Yeah.
I guess I have a couple questions. One is, like why, like what is the benefit, of developing, of knowing yourself, developing that awareness?
I would just speak from like the past like several years for me, because in the past several years, that's where I've really noticed my own becoming more conscious of my own self-awareness. And literally, I would say I've made like the biggest leaps and bounds in my own life in the past year, to where I'm really noticing great benefit from my own self-awareness, to where it's just helping me identify what I really want to do in life, to who I want to associate with, to how the habits I want to practice to get me to where I want to go.
And then maybe let me ask you this: what are things you do to become self-aware?
Yeah, so that's big things I've really been into lately are different forms of meditation. So basically just finding some activity that allows me to focus on my breath, focus on my body, how my body's feeling, get in touch with that. And then also I've done a lot of sleep deprivation tanks, which people watch this channel.
Wait, deprivation?
Oh, I always say deprivation. Sensory deprivation.
That does not
tanks.
sound like it would support like meditation.
No.
Or at least conscious meditation.
Yeah. Well, I know they also
What
call
are
it
they-
sleep
sleep-
deprivation tanks, but it's just another name for sensory deprivation.
Sensory
float
deprivation.
tanks. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I've heard it called sleep deprivation tanks, which is.
Well, I think that's when if they would force you to like stay awake or something.
But I've
Like
heard it
against
called
your.
that though. Like it's like. Yeah.
Wow, like professionally?
Yeah, I want to say.
Interesting.
Just when I was doing my research, I've heard it called that.
Well, we know the difference.
Yeah, so that's like another tool I've used.
So
I always call it
in that either environment or that state of mind, and are you
so basically
exploring?
just ways I've improved my own self-awareness is just putting myself in environments or situations that promote me not being distracted by external stimulus, to where I can just focus on my own self.
So I think what I'm hearing is that you kind of like dedicate some time on a consistent basis to
every day
focus.
Mm-hmm.
So you if someone wanted to do that, you would maybe say like block out some time where they're not distracted.
Oh yeah.
So you can think
Literally,
on a deeper
yeah.
level.
Uh-huh. And I've even noticed in like probably about the past month and a half, something I've done that I've seen like tremendous growth from my own like self-awareness is have a low media diet. And what does that mean exactly? Having a low media diet, that means be consciously aware of what you're actually exposing yourself to from media and all media. So that would be like social media, any type of screen that has some type of projection. That's media in itself. And literally, that's like in today's
Information,
world,
yeah.
everybody's spending majority of their
Wow.
thoughts being dictated by what they're viewing as media.
Well, yeah, and I think much of that time thinking and viewing those things, it's maybe not the most like mentally active thoughts in terms of like, you know,
Exactly.
a deep level of like conscious articulation of the ideas that you're being presented.
Yeah.
And it's almost like very passive, you know.
Yeah, it's like
I would say for me,
Yeah.
you're kind of just looking for things, whatever stands out to you. You're just scrolling.
yeah, it's like you're like if you were on like a highway or something, and next thing you know, the highway is just completely backed up. It's like in a traffic jam. Like that would be whenever you're like looking at something in form of media and there's no like value or purpose behind it. You'd be like that person very far back in the traffic line, just like you're not going anywhere. You're just paused. You're stopped in time. Like you're just wasting time at that point.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so many people,
Yeah, it's interesting.
so many people do that. Like that's probably like one of the easiest fixes you can start doing right off the bat is just have a low media diet, and then from that just be conscious as far as what you're actually exposing your own self to as far as absorbing external stimulus.
Yeah.
Because it just basically it clouds your judgment, clouds your clarity, your sharpness as far as like
Yeah.
getting in touch with you, and then.
Well, and it's a waste. It can be a waste of time. I wouldn't go outright and say it all is.
Oh
a
yeah,
waste
it's
of
not
time.
all waste of time, but like a majority of the time.
It can
though,
waste. It can waste your time.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to kind of add in a little bit. I don't know if I'll ever be in one of these videos again. So
No, you definitely.
if I'm
here
not,
till
I'm gonna leave
here
you
till
guys.
December. He'll be.
Yeah,
He'll be in it.
Yeah, we better be.
We'll collab.
So yeah, I think every time, like Alex said, like we always just end up not talking about it directly, but a lot of the things we discuss kind of come back to self-awareness, and I've been thinking about that a lot. And I think actually somehow, I don't know if it's the way I think or how I was raised, but somehow or another I've realized that I am very, I'm pretty self-aware, but I try to be also. And for me, I don't have a car right now, but when I did, it didn't have a radio in it. And I actually really like that because I would be, every time I was with friends, like they always had the radio on, a lot of times really loud, you couldn't even have a conversation.
Exactly, but
And man, in that quiet car, I can't tell you how many like out loud conversations I had with myself and with God, and just in general, and just like thinking things through. And so like for me that, and not even just that alone, like I definitely didn't limit it to the car, but it, I think for me, like one way that I'm self-aware, like talking about like maybe strategies or methodologies of being self-aware, or meditating, anything where you're like churning and mulling over your actual thoughts, like thinking about what you're thinking about, is almost like this, like another way I'm actually going to describe it again another way. If your brain is a calculator, right, sensory information comes in, you read something, you hear something, you smell something, or you are in a conversation, and that thing is calculating if you're going to respond or say something or act, like your brain is calculating, okay, what do I do? And everyone's calculator is unique, has different preferences, different prejudices, different outlooks, different favorites, whatever. Being aware on a higher level and like almost looking down at your own self at the way you are calculating. So to me, that's kind of what it is to be self-aware. And then what I do is I look at like decisions I've made and how I'm spending my time. And I like look at those things and I kind of just ask myself like, is this me? Is this what I want to do? Or sometimes I just plain out look at it and see if there's anything from that that I can learn from or that I am not happy with. And I think that, I'm almost, because when you look at something in the past, that was you in the present just a week ago or a couple hours ago. So that's a way to, looking at what you've done is a way to look at how you are. Yeah. And I think that's kind of like one way I look at myself, if I'm happy with what I'm doing or if I'm not. Would I be proud if everyone knew about what I was doing or how I was spending my time? Or does that line up with like the image I have of myself in the future? Like things like that. I'm kind of just trying to be aware of good things and bad things. And actually, like on the topic of knowing yourself, it's not just, it doesn't mean critiquing yourself. I think, if you talk about any relationship, it always comes down to trust. And I think one of the most important relationships that we have is